Lewis Hamilton, Flavio Briatore makes Fernando Alonso. Mercedes and Ferrari claim that is according to former team boss Flavio Briatore, who believes the two-time champion could return to F1. Fought off Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel this season to seal his fifth World Drivers' Championship title. The Mercedes man won a total of 11 Grands Prix in 2018, a stark contrast to Alonso's fortunes. Alonso ended the year 11th in the standings, having failed to secure a single podium finish. And he called time on his career last month, having endured a disappointing four-year spell with McLaren. Is now targeting Indianapolis 500 glory as he seeks to become only the second driver to claim motorsport's Triple Crown. Briatore, regarded as the man who discovered Alonso, has now revealed he believes the 37-year-old could one day make an F1 comeback. And while he admitted it would take a top team to tempt Alonso, he reckons the Spaniard could cause problems for Hamilton. If there is an offer from Mercedes or Ferrari, would Alonso come back? I think so, Briatore said. I cannot know, but in a fantasy market, I think so. There are only two teams. The only other solutions are to finish 4th, 5th or 6th. I think with the talent he has, you put him in the right car and he could still be the strongest driver along with Hamilton. We will see what happens in a few months or a year. He wants a rest, and I think after so many years many like Alain Prost did it as well. Now he needs a period of relaxation. He had frustrating years with a ridiculous performance by McLaren, but Fernando always behaved impeccably and drove beyond the highest level. Hamilton, meanwhile, will start his F1 title defense at the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne next March. Next news: Horner sad to bid farewell to Ricciardo. Christian Horner admits he is sad that Daniel Ricciardo has left Red Bull. The team boss said Australian Ricciardo alongside Max Verstappen was the best duo in the history of the energy drink-owned outfit. Ricciardo shocked both Red Bull and the rest of the F1 world by announcing his move for 2019 to Renault. There was a momentum and respect between the two that meant they kept pushing each other to the limit, Horner said, referring to Ricciardo and Verstappen. Red Bull initially placed Ricciardo at HRT in 2011, before he got a promotion first to Toro Rosso and then Red Bull Racing. We never worried about Daniel's pace, Horner told RTL, admitting that the big worry was about Ricciardo's ability to go wheel to wheel. Now he is one of the best drivers in the field when it comes to overtaking. His personality was also a perfect match for our brand. Next news: sleep-deprived Daniel Ricciardo opens up on the toll of Renault decision. Daniel Ricciardo has admitted his preparation for the races leading up to the summer break may have been affected by the stressful process of deciding to leave Red Bull, which often left him struggling for sleep. The WA driver shocked the Formula One world when he announced he would be joining Renault in 2019. Most expected him to stay with the Milton Keynes outfit or make the swap to Ferrari, who he had been heavily linked with. The announcement came in the week following the Hungarian Grand Prix and shortly after a drop-off in performances following a blistering start to the season which saw him claim wins in Monaco and China. Ricciardo's 3 races in the lead-up to the Hungarian race saw 2 retirements and a 5th place. In an interview with ESPN, he admitted that the strain of the Renault decision had more of an impact on him mentally that he realized. At time, I didn't think so, Ricciardo told ESPN. I feel like even if I was to, say, trip and fall over on the way to the car and scratch all my arm, by the time I got in the car it would be blacked out in my head. I guess what would have affected, which you probably don't think at a time, is when you're away from the track and instead of getting 8 hours sleep a night, you're getting 6 hours sleep because your brain is ticking. For sure this has some form of an accumulated effect. Again, I think I am stronger than that, and when I get in the car I am sweet, I am switched on, but maybe it did take a little bit away from me without me knowing. For sure there were nights where I didn't sleep as I should have because I had a lot on my mind. Then that builds up and I was probably not as sharp as I once was. Next news: bad season not all Bottas' fault, Salo. Former F1 driver Mika Salo has defended Valtteri Bottas at the end of a bad season for his fellow fend. Many are questioning Bottas' psychological state, after a disappointing season for the Mercedes driver and the looming threat his race seat posed for 2020 by Esteban Ocon. Some believe Bottas is being too openly critical of his own level of underperformance. I think it's okay to say it out loud, Salo told Finland's MTV. At least he has identified what were the weak points for him and will work in the winter so that they are not there next year, he added. Valtteri has no choice but to reset completely and start again next year. Pretty much everything went wrong this year, Salo continued. Baku was really bad. If not for what happened he would have led the championship and who knows how the season would have gone after that. Salo said Baku is just one example of how 2018 was not all Bottas' fault. There were so many little things that were just bad luck, not anything that Valtteri did badly. But they surely affected him on the mental side pretty badly, he said. Next news: top 2 teams could tempt Alonso, Briatore. Fernando Alonso will return to Formula 1 if Mercedes or Ferrari come knocking. That is the view of Flavio Briatore, the former F1 personality who is still involved with the retiring Alonso's management. Spanish sports newspapers quote the Italian as saying, "If there is an offer from Mercedes or Ferrari, would he come back? I think so. I cannot know, but in a fantasy market, I think so," Briatore added. He said those top 2 F1 teams are the only ones that could tempt Alonso back to a sport that clearly frustrated the 37-year-old in the end. There are only 2 teams. The only other solutions are to finish 4th, 5th or 6th, said Briatore. I think with the talent he has, you put him in the right car and he could still be the strongest driver along with Hamilton. We will see what happens in a few months or a year, he added. He wants a rest, and I think after so many years many like Prost did it as well. Now he needs a period of relaxation. He had frustrating years with a ridiculous performance by McLaren, but Fernando always behaved impeccably and drove beyond the highest level, said Briatore. Next news: Ricciardo denies wanting too much money from Ferrari. Daniel Ricciardo has played down claims he missed out on a Ferrari seat for 2019 because of money. The Australian is instead heading from Red Bull to Renault, with many believing Ricciardo felt the momentum of the energy drink-owned team had shifted to Max Verstappen. The Italian publication Automoto thinks Ricciardo fell out with Dr. Helmut Marko. One rumor is that Marko said around the paddock that Ricciardo asked for too much money from Ferrari. Who said I asked for too much money? Ricciardo is quoted as saying by Automoto. I'd like to know, but I have an idea. Yes, we talked about it, but I think they had already made arrangements with Leclerc. But I think I still have some more time in F1, so maybe another time it will work out differently. Marko said in 2018 that Ricciardo's Renault decision was strange, with team advisor Alain Prost admitting he regrets the fact that the highly rated 29-year-old won't have a winning car next year. "Alain has always been very kind to me," Ricciardo said. "I know it will be a difficult year, but we can do well. It's a challenge. Maybe we won't be winning, but Renault has the right people and the potential to do it, so hopefully it won't take too long." Next, now's Kubica returned a miracle, father. Robert Kubica's father says it is a miracle the Pole is returning to F1 in 2019. 8 years after almost severing his right arm in a rallying crash, the former BMW and Renault driver will race for Williams next season. If miracles happen, then yes, it is a miracle, Artur Kubica, the 33-year-old's father, told Polish broadcaster TVN24. The surgeon who saved Kubica's severely damaged arm in early 2011 agrees. "We had to fight to keep him alive. The fact that we saved his hand was an additional reward," said Professor Mario Igor Roslo. "It was an uphill struggle for him," Artur Kubica concurred. "I remember when after 6 months, his leg had healed and then he broke it again. Such cases can destroy you psychologically." Kubica's return is one of the great sporting comebacks, with the Pole admitting he almost lost hope that he might be able to return. "Nobody knows exactly how much surgery I had," he said. "Certainly more than there are races in Formula 1, and many that were unsuccessful and put me back 6 months. Kubica's father Artur concluded, "Today I'm happy that he is where he is. I am proud to be his father." Next news, Polish minister defends Kubica sponsorship. Poland has defended the financial investment into Robert Kubica's return to Formula 1. Just days after signing Kubica for 2019, Williams also announced that Polish oil company PKN Orlen is sponsoring the British team. Poland's state treasury is PKN Orlen's leading shareholder with almost 28% of the shares and votes. The move to sponsor Williams was defended by Polish sports minister Witold Bańka, a former 400 meters sprinter. "Many companies have found that it is better to sponsor athletes directly than to give money to sponsoring sports associations," he told Wilkowicz Sam na Sam. Grand Prix winner Kubica, 33, is returning to F1 after an 8-year absence due to his permanent right arm injury. Robert Kubica arouses emotions all over the world, as he is one of the most recognized Poles, Minister Bańka added. "Investing in such a story is justified." Next news, success at Indy 500 can be very random. Alonso. In the roundup, Fernando Alonso admits success in the Indianapolis 500, which he will race again next year, can be random. Become a race fan supporter and go ad-free. Race Fans operates thanks in part to the support of its readers. In order to help fund the development and growth of the site, please consider becoming a Race Fans supporter. For just £1 per month / £12 per year, you will also be upgraded to an ad-free account. Sign up and find out more below. What they say: McLaren is entering a team for Alonso in next year's race. It's going to be tough. I think that race by itself is already very tough and very random, let's say, because you need a lot of things into your way: the strategy, the luck, the yellow flags at the end, the safety car. All these things need to play into your way. But with a new team, I'm trying to learn from zero. Not only myself, also the team behind is going to be a little bit challenging. But we should be okay. McLaren has enough experience and enough talented people to run competitively there, and we will go for it. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.